Google. Let's go get him again.
What's going on, fragrance family? Welcome to the Robe Zoe channel. I'm your host, Mark. Welcome to an unboxing first impression video on the Robe Zoe channel. As you can see here, we have a Xerjoff to unbox from the Join the Club line. This one called More Than Words. So we're finally winding down the Xerjoff mega unboxing on my channel. I purchased Tony Iommi Monkey Special, Herba Pura, Cruz del Sur 2, Luxar, Torino 21, Starlight. We're at 6. More Than Words, 7. And then we have Naxos, which we're going to end at 8 for the year. I'm good. So now I'm switching gears. I am not going to be unboxing any more Xerjoffs. There's tons of other brands right now that I have to unbox for my channel. So we're going to take a little break from them. But pretty much my Xerjoff collection has at least doubled here within this year. And the good thing is that I'm gonna get to know these fragrances now in the years to come. So today the spotlight, of course, is on More Than Words, which is probably the oldest Xerjoff on my wish list. I remember I had a very small wish list for Xerjoff. I bought the ones I wanted, like the Richwoods and the Kobes and the Neos and the Udens and all that, and Xerjoff, among others. And after that, my Xerjoff, let's say, wish list was very small. More Than Words was a standout for the Join the Club line. When they first initially launched, I think it was in 2000, my memory is not very good, 2012 maybe that they launched that. I sampled the whole line, like they had Birdie, 40 Knots, a whole bunch. I think they discontinued a bunch of them, but either way, this was the standout for me. It was a very good one. I felt like the blend was good. I remember that, and I think it was a rose-based scent, if I remember correctly. And either way, that and I think Iris from the brand of Xerjoff were the two that are really old on my wish list. I have some new ones on my wish list, but those are the oldest ones that have been on there for 10 plus years. So it's nice to finally scratch this one off the list. Like the top of it, I'm like, there goes the one that I wanted for like 10 plus years. Here we go. So More Than Words is honestly from me, at least for my taste, I feel is a flop of a line called Join the Club. I remember they were they were pitching these bottles with like real blue glass or whatever. They're really trying to up this line. They wanted people to actually join Xerjoff in a club and talk together online, something like that. But anyway, this one I felt was the one that I felt was worth it. Join the Club, I felt like a lot of them were flops, like 1 out of 5s. I remember I still have the sampling video, well, not the videos, but the actual drafts that I wrote for those videos. I don't think I released any of those videos, but anyway, they were uninspiring. But this isn't a Join the Club bash. It is a unboxing. Let's get into More Than Words because I felt this one had a lot of promise. All right, now let's start unboxing. Again, there's several boxes to unbox with Xerjoff, so let's get started. Again, from what I remember, this is a rose dominant release, and if I remember correctly, and I'm getting old, I feel like this was a jammy rose. If I remember correctly, it was a sweeter rose-based fragrance, but I think there was oud too in here. So we will see what I get out of this one. I'm excited because I pumped the brakes or pumped the gas on this one for a while, just to myself. I've never really talked about it much on the channel, but More Than Words, JTC. And honestly, this is my first official Join the Club fragrance. I know Torino 21, I think, is part of that line, but I don't really count that. More Than Words is my first official one, and these bottles are pretty nice. I like the blue hue. All right, More Than Words, let's hope. And I do remember this thing used to be beast. I don't know if it is now. The bottles used to be different when I tested this. It used to be a way different looking, well, not way different, but a different looking bottle. So let's sniff this one out. And yeah, it's a jammy rose. Oh, I'm tasting it. Yeah, I bore too much. So it might still be beast mode because I'm actually tasting it. I put way too much, and that happens with some of these. Oh. Oh yeah. So yeah, now it's all coming back. Very much are you rose dominant, jammy rose. It has some fruity aspects, but the rose is your main player. It has fruits. What can I just say? Maybe like an apple. That's pretty much it. But there's a fruity balance, but really there's oud in here, definitely. Yeah. And an ambery glow. So yeah, this opening, I wouldn't say overly complex, like I'm trying to say that it's complex. No, it's got an ambery backbone. It's got some darkness, so it's got some oud in here, some woods, and it has heavy rose, jammy, and some fruits. But really, it's not a, don't make it think like it's a tropical fruit blend or anything like that. It's not very central. And there's some resins, a little bit of smoky nuance too. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's not a fragrance, more than words, and now it's all coming back to me now. And I remember joining the club being subpar fragrances, and this is the star of the show. And I felt like it smells very familiar. The rose is really good in here. It reminds me of Healy's Agar Wood, which is a great fragrance. It's the jammy rose, the best jammy rose oud fragrance that I've ever smelled in my life. It really emphasizes the jammy rose, which is absolutely gorgeous in that fragrance. Nothing touches it. The rose here is not on par with it, but it reminds me of it. So a really good rose note. Jammy, but yet it still has some watery aspects, which I really, really like here. And then it has some fruits, but the fruits aren't major. They're very much in the back end. Again, I'm smelling maybe an apple in here. But other than that, it just has some fruitiness, and I think it's the jamminess of the rose that really makes it fruity. And then a little bit of resins, but it really is a rose-centric fragrance from Xerjoff. So at the end of the day, I'm really happy. I think it was a fragrance, and now, it's all coming back to me. It was a fragrance that I felt it was really good. Like 4 out of 5 type of fragrance, if you get what I'm getting. Like, it wasn't a, wow, this is amazing, it's a standout, gotta get it, gotta have it. No. And with a collection like mine, from you see here, you don't even see the whole collection, you're seeing a third of it. This doesn't really stand out much, but it's very nice, and it's like I said, like a 4 out of 5. And if I had to give it like a score right now, like just off of the initials, so again, I want to see if this thing is huge, because I remember it being like, oh, like it would engulf a room, and I remember it being super powerful. But yeah, this is an excellent release. That's all it is. At the end of the day, it's not a huge standout. You can go without it, honestly, if you have a collection like mine. But I'm really intrigued to see what the back end of this release is all about. I don't even remember that. It's coming back to me now, like a rose-centric fragrance, but you gotta like rose-based scents, 100%. And you can't have a lot of them in your collection, because it's gonna start getting redundant in a way. But yeah, a good fragrance. I can't wait to delve into it more. Again, my first wearing since 2012. I haven't smelled this fragrance since launch. So it just brings back, and it's funny how fragrances do that. It brings back memories right away. I was starting to click. I'm like, oh yeah, rose, okay, oud, yeah. And it reminded me of the big projection and longevity that this thing had off samples. I remember that. So more than words, very happy to have it in my collection now. Yeah, this one, an excellent release. There's nothing to hate on that. It's actually really good introduction. Now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. This is not one of the more popular Xerjoffs, I'll be honest. A lot of people really gravitated towards 40 knots, and I don't remember that one being that good, honestly. I gotta go take a look at my notes, but I remember from the initial launch of Join the Club, I wasn't impressed with any of them, so except for this one. So it's maybe one to revisit next year, is 40 knots, to see what it's all about. But yeah, leave your comments below if you have smelt this fragrance, good or bad. You agree, disagree with me. Love to see those comments in the comments section below. And as always, a greater pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.